Okay, friends, let's take this time to talk about the air element. It's late September, going into October. The rain is falling down, the wind is blowing, and change is happening. We're going from obviously our summer months now settled down, and now we're moving into different weather pattern. And so that is the air element is. It helps us with movement. Change of any kind is the air element. There's five basic elements. Well, there is five elements that, there's not like, you look at the element charts, there's a bunch of elements, but in Ayurvedic and yogic thought, we think of the five main elements as being earth, water, fire, air, and space. In traditional Chinese medicine, space is wood and air is metal. So in traditional Chinese medicine, we are looking at the metal time of the year. But the attributes are similar. So, you can interchange them really easy. So air is movement of any kind. The movement of dust in the wind is Kansas might have said one time, or lava flow, or our blood going through our system is moving because of the air element. Any kind of movement is air element. And we can feel air, we can feel movement on our skin. Like if my hand was sitting here for a long period of time, I'd forget it's there. But as soon as there's movement, then I can feel it on my skin. So we're always moving. The air is always moving, but this time of year it's going a little bit stronger. It's more prevalent. Of course, in the springtime it's also strong, but in the springtime it's the space element. The the world is opening up to new life, and so space is spaciousness. We're just coming out of the earth element time of the year, the time of the year when we harvest, when we're taking things out of the earth. And so, and that's the time of calming, of everything's settling after the fire element of the summer. And so, and then after the air element is the water element. But we're going to talk about the air element today. Each one of them have different attributes and things, and you can have too much air or too little air in either one. Isn't good. If you have a balanced sense of air, then you're able to move through the life easily and smoothly, and change doesn't bother you. You're flexible. Too much air element, you're too scattered. You're moving too much. You can't keep your a thought. You can't focus. And too little air element, then you're too rigid. You're too set in your ways. So change is also movement of one form or another. So there's a lot of change that happens in the air element time of the year. And that change can be good or bad. Getting clean was a good change, but it was a scary change. Any kind of change is hard on us, that we don't know what to expect. Even though addiction was horrible, I knew what to expect every day. More of the same. It was more drudgery every day. And then to come into a recovery is to change everything. So they told me when I got into recovery, the only thing I had to change is everything. I had to change the people I was hanging out with. I had to change my thoughts. I had to change what I was doing during the evening, going to meetings and getting involved in service. It was all change. It was good change, but it was change. And, that's why people who are in recovery are some of the most courageous people that there are in life, that they're able to change their whole life, and then kind of a second birth is some places say, rebirth. And, birthing is a change. You're inside the womb and everything is good. You're, getting fed, or mostly it's good. I guess there's some traumas in the utero, But but to come out of that into the world is a big change, and that takes the air element to push out into this new world. So change can be good or bad, and but it's unstabling for sure. But some of the good changes, maybe you don't like somebody, maybe you even hate somebody, maybe you hate some people. Maybe you can change that to love. So the change from hate to love, different perspective, is also the air element. Pride to humility is a good change. But air gives us direction, gives us a direction to move. We're moving towards something. We're moving from here, point A to point B. Typically, there's scattered air sometimes, like unsettled air, like hurricanes and tornadoes are whipping around, but they're still moving in a certain direction. We can work with the air element by going out on a windy day and just allowing the wind to hit us. Open up the windows and allow the wind to go through our dwelling is a way of working with the air element, in that we're allowing the freshness to come in. We're moving out the stale air. The saying in recovery, let go and let God, is an air element saying, in that we are losing our own ego and allowing our higher self, or the God of our understanding, to take the direction that we're going. And if, as they say, letting go of the wheel is allowing the movement to go in the direction that our higher power wants us to go. So prana, our life force, is moved by our air element. And there's 5 different ways or movements of prana in our life force in our body. There's downward movement, which helps us with letting go of things. And then upward movement, going upward, aspiring upward movement. You think of a tree or plants, they're all moving in 2 different directions. They're pushing down, going to the Prana Vayu, and the Udana Vayu, going upward toward the heavens. And in a way, that's what we do. We're touching the ground, but we're going upward. And then there's one movement is a prana movement, goes from our heart into our mind. Is executive movements, helps move the rest of the movements, deciding which movement needs to happen. And so we have upward, downward, inward is a prana movement, expanding, going outward for our arms and our legs. And then there's a centering movement that goes, brings everything into the center, especially into our belly area. So that's movements of the air. And so this time of year, we may feel a sense of dryness in our skin, and maybe we're dealing with some constipation. Maybe we feel a little uneasy. Maybe we feel some insomnia. And if you're having a lot of that, maybe you're Vata of nature. And there's the 3 doshas. We're not going to get into that tonight, but the Vata is made of air in space. And so anytime your dosha is prevalent during the season, you especially have to be concerned and work with that dosha to make sure it doesn't get unbalanced. And some of the ways we do that is by our foods, of course. Ayurveda is a lot about the foods that we bring in, because we're bringing in prana, we're bringing in life force. But air is drying. If you think of a puddle on the ground with air flowing over it, sooner or later it's going to be gone because the air dissipates. And so air in our body is also drying, especially in our colon area. And so if we're Vata of nature, then we have to watch eating too many dry foods right now. Of course, nothing's not allowed in Ayurveda, but you're supposed to not eat so much of it. And other drying foods like lettuces, raw foods, salads, uh, beans of any sort is going to be drying. What you want to eat is more slow cooked vegetables with a lot of ghee or butter this time of year, or especially vegetables that are root vegetables that are coming out of the ground, like mashed potatoes and those kind of things. They're real grounding, aren't they? But they're also nurturing. The tissues in our body get dried from the air element, and so the butter helps nurture our tissues. And so that maybe that'll help with some of the dryness in our colon. Dryness in our body and our skin. Oftentimes our skin gets dry this time of year, and so we need to have lotions and things like that maybe. But perhaps you can try using oil before you take a shower, giving yourself a oil massage. And you can, this time of year, you should at least do your feet and maybe your head. And then maybe once a week, doing your whole body, especially around your joints, because that's where a lot of the air settles. That's why we have crackling when we move our bones. Our bones crack. It's the air escaping. And so we add oil into those areas, and then whatever is left over you use for the rest of the body. But do the whole body, and then take a nice warm shower and wash it off so it doesn't get on your clothes. But doing that again daily for the feet and the head, once a week or so for the whole body. It really only takes about 5 or 10 minutes, unless you're really into the whole massage thing. you might go at it for a while. I don't know, but for me, it only takes about 5-10 minutes. And so when I do that, I feel like I've done something for my dosha, because I am also Pitta Vata of the doshas. Again, we're not going to go into that tonight because that's a whole different topic. It would take way too long. And then later on in the air element, once it starts getting cool, we want to also stay warm if we're, of the type of like that I was talking about that feels any of those things. You get chilled easily. So staying warm. And so maybe drinking a tea or soups might be good this time of year. Nice stew or vegetable soup, even better, would be good. And maybe put a little, make it a little bit hot, put cayenne pepper in it, something like that, heating, warming, ginger, those kind of things. There's a nice tea you can make that is, let me think of it, ginger, lemon, cayenne pepper, and honey. The honey kind of brings the heat down a little bit, but it's a warming tea. It's nice to sip on and when you're feeling chilled, and helps our immune system as well. And then to balance your doshas, CCF tea is good. It's equal amounts of cumin, coriander, and fennel. So like half a teaspoon of each. You can get mixes have it all mixed up, but it's easy enough and cheaper to buy those 3 things and just put like a half a teaspoon of each. Put warm water over it, or hot water, and then sip that would be good. So other ways of working with the air element is, again, not getting frazzled, trying to stay calm. So meditation and that kind of thing is good to relieve that. If you have insomnia, and I was going to do another video on that one too. A lot of videos coming up. But video on, so I hope this isn't too boring for you, but a video on sleep, because, insomnia is chronic in this nation because our mind is so filled with so much data. And especially this time of year, we start ruminating while we're sleeping, or where we're supposed to be sleeping, and we're thinking all night. And so, our mind needs time to rest. Our mind needs time to detoxify itself. and that we can only do that in our deepest sleep. And so finding ways like meditating before you go to sleep, you know, if you're on a run, like a few days, you might need, you know, some herb, you know, passion flower or, you know, melatonin or something like that. Valerian root is good. But you don't want to take that all the time because any kind of thing like that, you're not going to go into that deepest sleep. It puts you asleep, but it's not. It's more of a lighter sleep. There's studies been shown that. But you know, if you have like a few days of insomnia, it's hard to turn out that off. You need to break the cycle, and using some sort of herb would be helpful for that. Of course, ashwagandha is supposed to be helpful for calming the nervous system and helping you sleep. But for me, ashwagandha never worked that way. It always makes me, it doesn't help with sleep. But I do take it often, but I take it earlier in the day, and it seems to help bring the nervous system down. So, you know, a lot of herbs and those kind of things are also good. So the air element is connected to the lungs and the large intestines. And so we have a lot of gas in that. We have that in the large intestines. But the lungs are where we're bringing in that prana. Some of the prana. Prana comes into the air, comes into the things we eat, things like that. But it's also connected to the heart chakra. And recently I was told about the dance of the heart and the lungs. When we inhale, we're bringing in fresh oxygen that goes into the blood, and allows the blood or the heart to beat. And when it beats another time, and we exhale, we're letting go of the things that we don't need any longer, which is again a form of the air element, in that we're letting go of what we don't need, bringing in what we do need. And that's just about like what recovery is about, bringing in the good, letting go of the things that aren't good for us. So we have a balanced air element. We don't hold on to things. We move toward resolution of things. We're flexible, so we feel a sense of lightness in life. We move to one thing to another without trying to cling, and and allowing new things to happen in our life, allowing new experiences to happen. And so, if we have too much air element, then we need to work the opposite with the air, which is fire element. Again, that warming herbs. But other ways of working with the fire is our passion, having passion for something. So we're given that the air always gives us direction. And so it's given us direction, something we can change toward, whether it's, making puzzles or whatever thing we're doing. It gives us direction and gives us focus, gives us our passion. Maybe your passion isn't making puzzles, but maybe your passion is going out and helping people. Maybe your passion is getting involved with service. Maybe your passion can be revved up by going to a place of your worship and connecting with your higher power, in whatever form that is, through song maybe. And song is a way of expressing our passion, or a mantra, those kind of things. We say, oh, mantra sounds too Eastern, but we have a mantra we say every time we get together in a recovery meeting. We say the Serenity Prayer, which is a mantra, or just for today, or all our slogans are mantras. And so mantras don't have to be anything too weird. But if we don't have enough air element, if we're too rigid in our thoughts and our way of being, well, then we can work with that by adding more air, by working with what supports it, by being grounded and allowing the expansiveness of the earth element to help us move our air element. And we can also do that by making change happen. Even though it might be scary, and then small changes are easier. So sometimes when we're rigid in that, we need to make small changes, like cleaning out our closet is a change. It's also increasing the space element, but doing something small change, changing our, the way we go to work, changing the way we, maybe if we always hold our coffee in our right hand, trying it with our left hand. Hopefully you don't spill it all over the place, but those kind of changes, the little small changes add up to bigger changes, and we can break that rigidity. And so that is a good way of doing that. Also, working with the air element is working with our breath. We can't, we don't have to control our breath. We're always breathing all day, but we can change it somewhat. We can change the speed. We can retain it a little bit, maybe not too long, but we can retain our breath. And all those kind of different breaths help us with our nervous system. And so we utilize the air to change our perception, the way we look at the world. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you are in Nevada of nature, watch those drying foods. Do try that massage oil things, and see if it's helpful. Stay warm, and embrace change. Again, whether it's bad or good, change is always going to happen. That's the one certain thing that we're going to have in this world. Change in taxes, I think they say. And so, everything is shifting, everything is moving. We might as well embrace it and go with the flow, as they might say in recovery. Go with the flow, Joe. So hopefully, again, this was helpful. We are going to have people come in. You're not going to just see me all the time. I'm going to have friends that join me, and we're going to talk about recovery issues with yoga, but also in just different life forms, different ways people live their life and work with their recovery. Whether, a lot of people I know would love to have and tell their story of how they navigate this life and, some of the challenges and things like that's happened, and how we work through them. But of course, be more focused on yoga, Ayurveda, those kind of things. I'm going to add those occasionally. And so you get a little bit of the yogic philosophy and how it can help us in recovery. So hopefully it's not too boring, and we will see each other soon.